All new at 8 this morning, we're talking relationships and who recovers faster after a breakup. Is it the men or the women? Well, it may not surprise you to find out that women do have higher levels of physical and emotional pain when they come out of a breakup, but they're also emotionally stronger. What might surprise you is that men never fully recover. Never. They move on, but they're still
we
broken.
Don't recover, yeah.
Right.
All right, that's according to some research by Binghamton University, published by the Daily Mail. So we're going to talk more about it right now.
And joining us this morning, therapist and relationship coach, our good friend Rick Brown. Great to see you.
Great to see you.
Thanks for being here. Okay, so were you surprised at all by reading this?
Not really. I think, breaking up is hard for any couple. Both men and women have difficulty with it. The difference is that women will feel the emotional pain and sometimes even the physical pain. That's the bad news. The good news is they'll probably do something about that. They'll talk to somebody about that. And in the process of trying to talk about it, talk it through, they tend to work it through and tend to recover a lot quicker.
So they talk about it. The guys just bottle it up inside.
We bottle it up.
And then do we take that junk into the next relationship and make that one bad too?
We do, because what we often do is we just stuff it and we begin to think it's really maybe not about me, it was really the other person. And so we don't really talk about my part in it, what I did, how it contributed to it. And so as a result, we'll tend to repeat those patterns once again.
How do we break up more effectively? I mean, we know it's going to happen. It's inevitable that some couples will make it, some won't. How do you do it in a way that is healthier?
Well, the thing about most people really want their relationships to work.
Sure.
What they don't like is the pain, the frustration, and so when they begin to feel that pain, that's when they often take a leave and leave the relationship. But if people could begin to get more comfortable that pain and that frustration is usually about growth trying to happen, and instead of running from it, if I could move towards it, maybe I could learn something about myself, because if we don't, we're just going to repeat these patterns in the next relationship.
Does it also go back to a closure aspect? If you never fully get closure, then you still have that open wound in the next relationship, right? So it just builds on itself.
Yeah, and that's where the people, although they may cry about it, women may talk about it, the good news in that is in the process of talking about it, once they get through that grief, they begin to look at their part in it and what was my role in that? How did I contribute to that? And then I can take a look at that so that I don't move back into and repeat the same thing.
Why are men more reluctant to take a hard look at themselves?
Well, part of that social conditioning. We are always taught big boys don't cry,
Right.
Keep your feelings to yourself, don't look weak, don't be vulnerable, and so we just kind of toughen it up and just move on. But inevitably, you're going to get into another relationship where somebody's going to hit that same spot in you, and you're going to have to deal with that someday, some way.
So do you need to have some sort of counseling at the end of even a breakup?
Well, if nothing else, you want to recognize that if I keep having these breakups, there's a common denominator. It's me.
Right.
And I want to take a look at myself at some point. I have to take a look at whether you do that in therapy or you do that with reading or a good friend. I've got to look at that at some point.
That's
Good
fascinating.
stuff.
How can our viewers get in touch with you?
Just rickbrown.org, O-R-G.
Okay, great stuff.
Always good to
Thanks
see
for your
you. We'll
insight.
talk to you soon.
Good to see you too.